You are a beautiful soul. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. Just take one step at a time. In everything, God is in control. Just take one step at a time. You don't have to sell your soul for material gain. It will be rough sometimes. God made it that way. As a spiritual test for you to see if you will pray. Just have some patience along the way. Keep it going to the top spiritually. You'll be growing up. By God, you were chosen to walk along that road. Keep it rising to the top. You are climbing up. Success comes with timing and realizing that you are a beautiful soul. Just take one step at a time. In everything, God is in control. Just take one step at a time. The race is not for the swift. The mistake is when you rush in. It creates bad business and destroy relationships. Have patience and discipline with a whole bunch of love in it. The race is not for the swift. The mistake is when you rush in. It creates bad business and destroy relationships. Have patience and discipline with a whole bunch of peace in it. You are a beautiful soul. Just take one step at a time. Hey, step. In everything, God is in control. Just take one step at a time. One sing more, sing more, sing more, sing more. Rastafari, one love to the whole world, majesty. Good afternoon, and welcome everybody. Thank you guys for joining me. First of all, I just want to say that I'm tuning in from home, you guys, but you can still feel free to call in. The number to call because I'm using two of my phones to record. So the number to call would be 340-209-2083. So you're still able to call in, give your opinions, your feedback, what have you. Let's have a nice discussion today. Yes, last week we spoke about so many different things and we ended off with the difference between um, discipline and abuse. But before we begin, you already know how I like to go. I like to start off by giving my shout outs. You know, let's start off by shouting out um, DTF Print Studio, director of film. Um, they're amazing with what they do. I must say, from past experience with doing business there, with being sponsored by them and everything like that, through my merchandise, I just love it. I love my mug. I love my t shirts, my stickers. and so much more to come. Soon I'm gonna get a hat to go with a fit, and I know how I like to switch it up sometimes, but I also gonna have some amazing giveaways. But big up to them, custom custom DTF printing in the Virgin Islands. We bring your designs to life on apparel, accessory with vibrant, high quality prints. Fast, affordable, and perfect for any occasion. DM us to create something unique. Also, the numbers to call would be 707-671-2481. And they're located in 19C La Grande Princess, Christiansted, U.S. Virgin Islands. Zip code 00820. Once again, the numbers to call them at is 707-671-2481. That is DTF Print Studio 340. You know, so I just wanted to make sure I big up my one of my sponsors. Let's move on to the next and one of the best. You know, for those of you who are just joining, you're joining me on WSTX 970 AM every Friday from 2:30 to 4:30. Sometimes a little longer if they don't let me go. But let's big up Memorable Designs, established in 2023, personalizing items such as clocks, keychains, dominoes, plaques, memorable art using resin, along with so much more. So you could get in contact with them through Facebook, Instagram at Memorable Designs, or email her at patemasmith69 at gmail.com. That is Memorable Designs. And I have to say, it's amazing, amazing artwork, from custom made artwork for what is your business, parties, you name it, you know. And she works fast and effective, amazing prices, amazing content, amazing creations all together, you know. So get in contact with her, you know, go get your custom made designs, whether it's a bag, a pen, a cup, a mug, you know, a thermostat, you name it. You know, I have my custom made mug that I have my custom made mug that I got as a gift from our one and only biggest and baddest reggae host here in the Virgin Islands. I don't know, Ninja P. Matter of fact, let me show you my mug, because I was telling him what is a better way to showcase a compliment than through a long lasting mug that you could continuously refill. So let me get it. Oh yes, yes, yes. Okay. I ain't got that long. I come back, I come back. Um and yes, it come in a thank you bag, you know. So let me try what I'm working with. It's amazing. I just love it. You know, I got it when I was over at Serenity's Nest. So it says black, thick, beautiful. And it has memorable designs at the back. Amazing logo. I love it. I love it. I love it. The quality is amazing. You know, there's also amazing tumblers. You know, great quality too. And I'm not really gonna show off the design on it because that is a surprise for an upcoming event. But you hear that? It's sturdy, you know. And guess what? All of this for memorable designs. I got to change my covers. I got to change my handles. I also play with it. If I feel in pink, I could change it to pink. If I peel in blue, I could change it to blue. This is all for this set here is my little goodie tag for the upcoming event on May 22nd at the UVI Great Hall. You know, you guys heard me talking about it over and over again. We're going to be having special gift bags for those for registered individuals, you know, with small little trinkets inside. Yours might not be as swagged out as mine, but you still gonna get something to go home and remember by, you know. So yeah, like I said, I love my mug, and I told Ninja, I said, look, you know, what is the best way? This is the best way to go about, you know, giving a compliment that you could continuously fill up, you know, and right then on the spot, you know, he got it for me. You know, that's my ace, that's my dad, that's my friend. Just know I had to contact him just so I could get some things resolved and stuff. And he to work like that. You know, he's over in St. Thomas doing a show. You know, I think it's coming up tomorrow. We're gonna go over to the Ninja People page in a little while to see what it is he get going on in St. Thomas. I know you're gonna be having amazing vegan food and so much more. You know, big up to Serenity's Nest. I gonna be letting you guys know if we have any upcoming events. And I know every Friday, every Sunday, there's always something going on over at Serenity's Nest. Welcome, welcome, Dante. How you doing? Positive hit me up with a throwback picture of myself and the beautiful, amazing Desiree. You know, that's my girl. She's amazing when it comes to her music. You know, so when I saw the picture, the onlyest thing that I took for the picture was, damn, I was skinny. I was skinny, and now I I miss it, you know, especially when it comes to like my belly. You know, I walk in on it though. Just like I walk on my body, I walk in on my belly. Because with a natural body, you don't have your ups and your downs. But when I get in the middle and I centered, ain't no stopping the show. So let's go. Let's get into it. Like I said, I still feel free to call in. Those of you who watching on live via WSTX or even through my Facebook, please put my numbers in the comments. So if anybody want to call, they could call in and get it get their opinions heard. The numbers to call is 340-209-2083. Once again, 340-209-2083. And just to check to see if I get somebody ring the phone so I could make sure that I'll get his number down packed. This don't mean to stalk me. You understand? I'm not the one to stalk. But let me see. I ring the phone, let me know. You know, I got to call this one here to make sure that he get my message. Let him know that we calling while we live on the air to know so that people could know what going on over at Serenity's Nest. Oh yes, this is how I walk. You know, I gonna make sure that my sponsors are heard. You know, any events they have is pushed out there. Big up to St. Thomas and the big carnival are going on. I see Ayo and Ajube, Ataya. Um, Listen, the consortium and its captions was too much for me. You know, somehow I should have take a double take in the mirror before I went outside. You know, but at the end of the day, once you had fun, that's all that matters. That is the thing that matters the most. You know, today is the first, so you don't know what time it is. It's a new month within 2026. Could you imagine that? We're already in May. People, we was just saying Happy New Year's just the other day. And now we are over here. Okay, okay, I see Ayo. If you're calling, call in, you know, call back. if you're calling. But we was just in January saying Happy New Year's. And now we're in May. We are in May, people, you know. So give thanks for life because we're not here on our own. We're not here on our own. We are here because of God, and I want to give thanks to God and to my creator for just giving me life and blessings all the time. Regardless of what anybody said, I am and will be nothing without God, without my creator. Big up the Speak the Word Ministries, the fastest growing ministry in the whole entire world. You know, my backbone gave me an amazing education. You understand me? The reason why I'm capable of articulating myself in these manners is because of my teacher, Miss Daniel. Oh my Lord of mercy, Ayo. This woman, and it's not just in my English. No, no, no. This woman makes sure that I knew what I was doing. And when I said walk at your own pace, Tiniqua start to run. I start to run like we've been in a championship because you don't tell me walk at my own pace and then get intimidated by my pace because my pace is ongoing. It don't stop. I don't like to sleep. You understand me? Some people are gonna tell me, Tiniqua, go and rest, go and lay down, go and relax. But um before I really begin, I want to, well, like I said before I begin, before we get in depth into whatever conversations I want to bring up, whatever you're feeling like, whatever been on your heart and your mind, you know, there's some things that I wanted to get off my chest. I recently published it on my social media platform, and over to it was taken from there over to the Daily News. And now, well, I appreciate it. I appreciate the recognition, the recognition, all these different stuff. It's just I want you guys to understand my where I'm coming from when I say these things, why I talk about it. And we had a little conversation about that last week, but I'm going to bring it back up to life because it's very important. When it comes to our healthcare system is something that needs to be talked about. So let's just see. Delays, raise costs, and unanswered questions. The reality of the JFL rebuild on St. Croix by Tiniqua Knowles. Wrote April 23rd, 2026. The long awaited redevelopment of the Wang Lui Hospital and Medical Center continues to face mounting challenges, raising construction costs, project delays, and one final federal permit still standing in the way of progress. While officials report that certain components, such as the dialysis facility, are moving forward and expected to be completed within approximately 180 days, the reality remains that the main hospital rebuild still has no clear start date. And for the people of the Virgin Islands of St. Croix, let's just narrow it down. That uncertainty is just frustrating. It's dangerous. It's not just frustrating, it's dangerous. Progress without a timeline. Updates from the hospital redevelopment team highlights movement across several supporting projects. A new dialysis center facility entering full construction with a 5-acre support site with over 200 parking space underway. Infrastructure expansions included utility and storage buildings. The Cassava Garden project still facing funding power delays. On paper, these developments suggest progress, but in reality, they expose a deeper issue: absence of clear, executable timelines for the main hospital itself. Despite contracts being executed and plans drafted years ago, officials admit that they cannot yet see when residents will see shovels in the ground. Rising costs have forced reconsiderations of original plans, and critical enabling projects must be completed before demolition can even begin. In other words, the hospital, the most important piece of the entire effort, is still in limbo. Meanwhile, St. Croix continues to rely on outdated healthcare systems that may that many residents and healthcare workers have described as mold infested, severely understaffed, lacking critical and modern medical equipment that is not just an inconvenience, it is a public health risk. We're entering hurricane season. We are witnessing a rise in gun violence. We are living in a territory where emergencies can escalate quickly. So the question must be asked, what is the plan if a mass casualty event occurs? God forbid. Because right now, the infrastructure simply does not support it. Rebuild versus reality. At some point, difficult conversations must be had. While demolition and full reconstruction may offer the vision of a state-of-the-art facility, the current pace of progress raises questions concerning concerns about feasibility and timing. If years pass before a new hospital becomes operational, what happens in the meantime? A more practical and immediate solution must be considered. Why are we not aggressively renovating and upgrading the existing hospital while planning for a new building elsewhere? This approach would maintain a functional, uh, in improving healthcare facilities for residents. All constructions of a new hospital without disrupting, allowing a full construction of a new hospital without disrupting current services, reduce the risk of leaving St. Croix vulnerable during a prolonged transition. Because the reality is simple. We cannot afford to wait years for healthcare solutions while conditions continue to decline. Accountability and forward thinking. This is not about opposing progress. It is about demanding realistic, strategic, and people centered planning. Too often, in the Virgin Islands, we see projects delayed due to poor condition coordination, contractors selected without proven performance, critical infrastructure left in prolonged states of uncertainty. Healthcare. Healthcare is not a project that can afford those mistakes. The people of St. Croix deserves timelines, transparent updates, immediate improvements to existing conditions, long-term solutions that are actually achievable. The bottom line, the redevelopment of Juan Louis F. Hospital is one of the most critical infrastructure projects in the Virgin Islands. But progress cannot be measured by plans alone. It must be measured by results. Right now, the results are not where they need to be. And until they are, the people of St. Croix are left asking a very real and urgent question. If something happens tomorrow, are we truly prepared? Now, this is a question that is going to sit and linger for quite some time. I just wanted to make sure that we highlighted it again. And before we dive in, I want to let you guys know about a few um, programs and events that are going to be headed our way. So, for those of you who are just tuning in, new listeners, I want to let you guys know that you're welcome to the first ever annual Economic Development Summit here on St. Croix on May 22nd, 2026, starting at 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the UVI Great Hall. It is free. Business owners, entrepreneurs, job seekers, you name it, contractors come out, support network. You are we're prompting you to bring your business cards, your business plans, so that in the moment of networking, you could be able to connect with the right individuals to get yourself and your business elevated. Now, you know that I always tell you guys, economic development starts within our community. So we can't expect to build our economy if we continue to bargain our chips outside of the territory. We need to stop bringing in millionaires and start generating and creating millionaires. And the only way that we can do that is by you guys taking that step, that necessary step into becoming um, business owners, entrepreneurs. Those of you who want to get more um, get more qualified within your skills, go to your training schools, build yourselves up. So I can't do everything for you. Same as the government, they can't do everything for you. There has to be a portion where you take it upon yourself to make it work. So now let's talk about summer. It's summer. Let me change to my inclusion, because ain't nobody else happy for summer like me. But with that happiness comes a slight remembrance of the fact that even though I don't have to wake up early, I gonna be in a house full of children. So summer programs. Summer programs is important, not just to get them out the house. We want to get them out the house, but we want to put them in an environment where they're still on track for when school begins. They don't never lose focus. They're learning something, even though what they're learning may be fun and entertaining, it is still educational. And these different educational platforms, needs to be something that will benefit us and them within the future. And the office of Senator Hubert L. Frederick has just that, limited space. We're trying to get um, 4 young leaders from through high school or college within their first to fourth year to participate. The way to enter to be able to be a paid intern is by writing an amazing essay as to, let's make sure that we got. So essay questions is, what are the roles of agricultural, wildlife, and fishery in the Virgin Islands? And how can the emerging generation contribute to strengthening these sections of a sustainable future? So you just gotta write an essay, I guess, about 500 words or so forth. Yes, so we have a caller. Good afternoon, caller. You on the air?
Hey, what's up? Am I on the air?
Yes, you are.
All right, let's get it. Let's cruise rock.
Yes, yes, yes. We're trying to get our children into these summer programs that are not going to just benefit them, but are going to also benefit our community within the future.
Okay, that sounds good.
What do you think about it?
I'm all for that. I mean, summer programs was one of the most important things when I was young. So, um, it's a good mentoring time for the kids, not just to be out there doing anything crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And do some extracurricular stuff, things you don't get to do while you're in school.
Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely, learning outside of school is always a great thing. You never stop learning, so it's a great thing.
Yes, definitely, definitely. That's why I want to just keep pushing these programs. Right now we're looking for some amazing leaders, to be able to help, groom and mentor, like you stated, and just give them the sense of leadership, what it takes to be a leader, what it takes to have responsibilities, and also give them the opportunity to have a paid internship.
Yep, yep, that's right.
Awesome. So,
That's right.
what district are you calling from?
I'm a St. Croix.
Oh, he's a Crucian. Let me find out. Thank you. Yeah, so thank you for calling in. I appreciate
Wait,
you.
hold on.
No, I'm
Hold
not.
on.
I'm not running you. Go ahead.
No, do you know who's on the phone with you?
No, no, no. I don't know who's on the phone with me.
This is Cruz Rock. You told me to call you.
Oh Lord, I didn't even notice you called. Ayo, we have Cruz Rock on the phone. So, due to the fact that I have all three of my phone running, let me ask you a question. You have an extra phone that you could be able to play this newly released Shiloh song for us? Because I want to hear it.
Oh, I don't have, no, I don't have my extra phone on me.
Okay, well.
It's on YouTube. Yeah, you guys can go check it out. Shiloh just dropped, like a movie slash music video, soundtrack. It's called Shiloh. It's about St. Croix. It's about the Virgin Islands. It's about history, you know, with our ancestors in the cane field. Yeah, so from Africa to as close by as Puerto Rico, and even just indigenous people of the Virgin Islands. It's just representing all of that all in one, and the culture, you know. So a lot of nice plugins with local brands and things like that, like Crucian Gold, Sonia's, you know, anything Crucian, Virgin Islands is what we were trying to portray in this thing, you know, take it to a global level.
I was kind of tagging along during the production of it. I see you had that music in motion that was helping with your choreography with your girls and stuff like that. That was amazing. How was that journey for you?
Yeah, that was great, man. I was working with Miss Schuster and Markima, who was the main dancer. She did like some theatrical dances, some historical African folk dances as well.
Yeah.
So it was a learning experience for me, sharpening back up my mind, things that I learned in elementary, you know, just kind of, you know, just kind of dabbling. And then at the same time, like I said, we're still in the process of telling a story. So it's a whole documentary slash movie, music video all in one.
I like that.
Yeah. So we wanted to make something special, you know, for the island. I think we get kind of caught up in this ideology of what the Virgin Islands should be.
Yeah.
And we lose the core elements of what makes us the Virgin Islands. So nothing wrong with carnival and things like that, but it comes to a point where we're more than just carnival. We're more than just Juve. We're more than just people jumping up and down in the road half naked. You know what I'm saying?
I like that, you know. That's awesome. You know, I actually spoke about that, you know, when it was our carnival in St. Croix, you know, the tradition has been lost. And I watched the music video and I saw the capturing of not just, I'll say, the essence of the Virgin Islands, but also the essence of the people and the different cultures that mingle within it. You know, I love the portion with the horse race and, you know, the cane feel and the dances. I wanted to ask you this: when you was walking down the beach, you know, what was that feeling that was going through your body when you realized, like, I'm home, I'm back home, and I'm creating what I went and traveled the world, you know, and sharpen my skills to do?
Yeah, no, it was a refreshing feeling. Just creating a video, being out in the cane fields, you know, like you said, being out on the beach, and trying to put all the elements together that like I said, that makes the Virgin Islands. It gave me it helped me to get in touch more with you know, the ground.
Yeah.
You know, like they say, like foot on the ground. So I got more in touch with nature, more in touch with the things that matter the most. Because I've been traveling a lot over the years, and I've also been going through my own little, you know, ups and downs, and that's when I wrote this song. I was going through some ups and downs. I was like, man, you know, I gotta get reconnected with spiritually and get reconnected with the island. And as small as St. Croix is, you know, I feel like
it's big.
Yeah, St. Croix has so much to it's so unique.
Yes.
So when you watch the video shows that uniqueness that makes us, like you said, the Virgin Islands. And I think, like I said, I think we've got so caught up. Everybody's just like, you know, calypso, soca, carnival, juve, that we lost our identity as islands, as island people, as you know,
Virgin Islanders in a whole.
Yes, exactly, and we've lost the history. We've lost so much that everything now is just so manufactured, and we have to be aware and actually shy away from being a manufactured culture. And I beg tourism, I beg festivals that this doesn't just turn into a money grab. Because once it turns into a money grab, you lose the essence of the culture, you lose the essence of the people, you lose morality, you lose a lot of things when you start to package things and turn it into a product.
Definitely.
Yeah, so that's what this video was all about. This song, the video was saying, hey man, we have more to offer. And I know that, like, my mother is a Trinidadian, I love carnival, I love these things, and I make soca songs once in a while. But that is not all that we are. And you can't put everybody in a little box and say, yeah, this is what we are, and we're gonna package this, and I don't care what nobody says, we're gonna do it like this. Nah, it don't work like that.
Definitely.
We have a rich history. We have a lot to offer, and Shiloh is basically showing that. And people, like you said, you see it yourself.
Yeah.
Everybody that watched the video was like, "Yeah, this is on point. This is what we are. It's not just carnival. It's just not, like I said, it's juve, these things, and then it's eclectic. It's grassroots. It's a rich history. It's something that we don't want to lose."
Definitely.
Yeah,
so let me say this, right? I know we've done our interview before, you know, on WSTX. You were able to come into the studio. I wish that we could have that again. But just give the people, we know that you have this newly released song, but I want everybody to know your journey since then. You could say it's probably been about 2023, 2024 that we did that. What has been your journey? I've seen that you've been just creating and constantly traveling. And even so, like, where was your most intriguing place to perform, you know?
Well, just as of late, I've been, you know, getting a lot of phone calls from places that I haven't touched. Yeah, so that's that. I'm actually haven't performed in probably 85% of the places where my music plays.
Wow.
So I'm now starting to get a lot of those phone calls where it's like, okay, undeniable that we gotta bring you here. Like, songs are playing, yeah, people know your music. So definitely Africa is on my on my to-do list. I've done South America a lot, but Africa is like on my to-do list.
Definitely.
And there's a lot of other places too, man, like Australia and these places that are playing the music that I would love to go to these places. So I got a long list. It's not just one place. I want to see the world. I want to spread the music. I want to show the Crucian culture, because I think the Crucian culture is the backbone of the Virgin Islands.
Definitely. You know what I love to see when it comes to your music, and even now this newly released song, is your ability to acknowledge both sides of yourself. When I say that is, you're capable of switching fluently through English and Spanish, and giving both of those cultures and those different elements of yourself equal space within your
Yeah.
music. So it's not like it's overpowering. So I'm able to flow along, and even when it turns into Spanish, I'm like, I still can, I know what's going on here. Even I know un
Yeah.
poquito Spanish, but
Yeah.
I love I just love your ability to be able to combine yourself in such a manner. And then with Shiloh, what it does is it shows your connection to the Virgin Islands. And it seems to me that you are kind of like homesick in a sense. So you wanted to
Yeah.
kind of go back home and then bring home with you. Because
Yeah.
this song is not going anywhere. It was filmed in the Virgin Islands, but it's
Yeah.
gonna go all over the world. So
Oh,
I love that. I love the fact that you were able to give the Virgin Islands that space, and also be able to give the people, your fans, a little inside, a peek of who Cruise Rock really is, where you come
yeah.
from, what it is that is consist of here in the Virgin Islands. And like you said, it's more than just carnival. It's more than Juve and half naked people. It's about the culture, the richness of that, the
Yeah.
foundation that was set for us, you know, the strength behind our talent. You understand? Because we have came from a long line of amazingly talented individuals. And as small
Exactly.
as St. Croix, let's just say the Virgin Islands is, we have some big, big stars that come out of here and are still building up to this day, including yourself. When
Yeah.
I look at your journey and I look at your continuous position in life, I am proud of you. And I have to say that. If nobody recognizes you and gives you your flowers, I want to tell you, you're doing amazing. When I saw that it was released today, I'm like, look, I'm going on the air right now. And I went on his post on his Cruise Rock site, and I told him
Yeah.
I'm about to go live. I want to be able to showcase this song. What we're gonna do is when we come off the phone with him, we're gonna take a moment to sink in to Shiloh, and
Yeah.
you'll hear it, but I gotta go and see it for yourself.
Yeah. You have to watch. You have with this song. You have to watch it. I mean, the song by itself is amazing, but when you add the video and the visuals to it, it's like it's just a whole
It's
package.
magical. Let's just put it as it is.
Yeah.
It's magical.
It
That's
is.
what it
Yeah.
is. You
Yeah.
did amazing. You did an amazing job. I wanted to ask you, I know you've done it before, but in the future, are you planning to do any collaborations with any Virgin Islands artists? Have you seen any that are intriguing to you that
Oh yeah.
you
Yeah.
feel would be a good companion to your music?
Yeah. Yeah. There's definitely a lot of artists that I'm looking at. A lot of young artists. A lot of I'm all about mentality. I'm all about.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
you.
I'm not.
You have to have
Yeah. Yeah.
substance behind your music.
Yeah, yeah, and your personality has to match. I don't like to work with people who full of themselves or feel like
I
feel like
got
they're
you.
bigger than what they are.
Yeah, I know. I understand. It's about
Yeah,
being
so
humble. Hmm.
yeah, it's about humble. It's about work ethic. It's about you don't have to be the most talented person. I just have to see that you're willing. You're willing to put in the work and it's a lot of talented people out there, but they don't have the motivation. So
Commitment is key.
yes, so that's where I'm at with a lot of artists. There's a lot of talented artists, but there's only a handful of them that I feel want it, like they really want it.
Definitely,
Um,
definitely.
yeah, talent is not the issue. It's just always about how much do you want it.
So let me ask you, in talking about that, I want to pin a quote from Cruz Rock, what would be something that you would quote yourself saying when it comes to that specific topic we were just speaking about?
But I'll tell you what, my quote to myself that I have to keep reminding myself is patience is key. Patience is everything, man. And once you have patience and you're consistent, those two things will take you a long way because it's not a race for the swift. It's definitely a race for the long term. It's a marathon, and I've learned that. Yeah, I've learned that over there, and I'll tell everybody that. Just in life in general, be patient, be consistent, and that's the key, man. If you have that patience and you're consistent, and you're not looking at the outcome every minute, and you just kind of just put it in the work and letting God and letting the universe kind of flow and give you guidance.
Yeah.
Then you could be great, So that's my word to the people.
That's what's up. I'm glad that I was able to connect with you. I'm glad that you picked up on my offer to call in. One day we should have a moment where we could actually go back into the studio, to do a more sit down. You know how it again and drill you with questions. People would have thought this was a planned interview, but it was a spare of the moment, and I really love what you're doing, and like I said, continue. And I hope this is just the beginning of this journey within the Virgin Islands and culture and everything, and the fact that you got into the swing of it is amazing. What I want you to do when you're done, while we go and dive into this music, is just send me a brief insight of your journey while creating this music video, and even when you was writing, because what I want to do is I want to write an article inspired by Shiloh, so when I do share it again, I'm going to share it to you, share it on my page. But if you remember, I'm an author, along with being a radio host, among so many other things. So I want to give that contribution from my perspective and also from the perspective of yourself, so I want to give both the artist and the listener, and even so being a radio host, I was able to have this time to ask you about, your journey within it. And I wish that more of our officials would recognize Virgin Islanders, when they put us on the map in these ways. It doesn't take being the top or, it's just being humble. And like you said, being a person who's connected to your culture is something that is needed to be recognized. So I feel like that's something I really want to do. I'm going to do it regardless if you send me it or not, but I want your input, a list of the people that you work with here on St. Croix, to give them that shout out. Miss Schuster is amazing. Me and her communicate a lot. She's trying to bring back the culture to dance and also the discipline and all those different things. So I love the fact that when you showed like the blueprints and the bloopers of it, it showed her in the background, showing them not just somebody coming out and doing whatever they think it is, but somebody that is in the mix of the culture, that teaches the dance and the structure of these things, was in the mix of making and perfecting this video. Like you said, patience is key. Can I ask you how long it took for you to structure this entire plan from writing to completion?
Well, this song is about 2 years old.
Wow.
And for me, it's about 2 years old. My mom was going through some medical stuff, and I was in a place in my mind where I was like, man. That's why in the song it says, "Mama said, find you a blessing from Shiloh." So in my mind, I was when she was going through her stuff, I was like, man, I gotta stop thinking like like a saga boy. That's what like the older people are saying. Like a saga boy. I got to bring some fruits to the table and make her proud. So that's why I kind of got the inspiration while I was seeing her through her time, and I wrote that song. So it has a lot of, I mean, you could hear it in the song. It has a lot of feeling, a lot of passion.
Definitely.
Yeah, so yeah, the song is about 2 years old. Planning of the video took some time. I started planning that video probably about 4 months ago. So probably could have got it done a little sooner, but like I said, I'm going through a little personal transition, and it was more of a spiritual thing for me than it was just a song, you know.
Definitely.
Yeah, so I took my time. I planned everything out. I got spoke to Prosperity. We got Miss Schuster involved, and everything just came together, man. And actually, at the last minute, a lot of unanswered questions and things that I didn't have prepared, it started to come together.
That's how it always happens. It just, we waited so long, and then when the time is like at that crunch level is when everything just starts to flow in the direction that you've been wanting it to.
Yeah. So a lot of it was like that. A lot of it was like the idea, and then it was kind of just the universe, God, ancestors, just kind of flowing in the mystical realm and putting things together,
One thing I'm going to say is when you're able to not just humble yourself, but be able to connect yourself with the universe, the culture, our ancestors, all of that, you'll see a different type of push that comes behind of you. Once you get connected within that atmosphere, it's hard to come out. It's like like they say, is a mystical feeling. And Bob Marley said the most. He said it the best. There's a natural mystic flowing through the air. And when I watched and listened to Shiloh, I got that sense of feeling. And I love to see that. Like I said, I'm gonna continue to say it because it's the truth behind of this. Just the richness of the culture, from the costumes to the different dances that you chose to do, and just the atmosphere itself. There's a lot of life and a lot of memory behind of a cane field, and also behind of those attires that was worn. You know what I'm saying? And even so, the drums, those traditional drums have so much life and healing meanings, and the showcase of our beautiful waters is everything. I just love it. I always say that overview at our house race was lit. Yeah, so I love that. I love that. I love how you started it out with the highlight of the island and so forth, zooming into everything else. So like I tell everybody, I'm listening audience, make sure I go and check it out. It's on YouTube. Coos Rock Shiloh. Definitely. And like it up, share it up, support your own, and don't just listen. Sit down and embrace it. Sit down and let it flow. See the time and the time that it took, the love that was poured into it. Like I said, he did when I was doing I love to do research. So while I was watching the bloopers of it, I saw the different people from the Virgin Islands that contributed to this. And let me ask you, is it a local who created your costumes and so forth?
So a lot of the costumes were by Miss Schuster. Miss Schuster does costumes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so she did all of the African and the Madras, all that stuff was her.
That's awesome. That's dope. What was your favorite scene though?
My favorite scene in the video?
Yes.
The fire bounty.
I figure so.
The fire bounty is wicked. Like when you don't expect it, and then when it comes down, it's like, oh. Yeah, then the way the fire was moving with the air, and when she was dancing around it, it was like, oh man, that's mystical.
Yes, I see that. I love that. So now y'all got my favorite part. You get Cruz Rock's favorite part. I want to hear from Mario. When you take your time to watch it, what is your favorite part? Because, like you said, it's not just a music video. It's not just a song. It's a movie. You understand?
Yeah.
And it's the beginning of something new, a new side. Like he said, he wanted to jump out of, that swag boy mentality to dedicate something not only to his mother but to his culture, to home.
Yep.
So I'm gonna say for the beginning of that, you did amazing. But
thank you.
Don't leave all the swag boy behind. I'm gonna let you to know, Melodia and all these different ones, they're my songs. I just love them. So keep bringing them, double jump back and forth into all of them. You understand me?
Balance,
Definitely. I'm a Libra, so that's exactly what I deal with is balance.
That's right.
Yeah, man. If you have anything else you want to say, you go ahead and tell the audience. But I appreciate you for calling in, and I appreciate our conversation. I want to let them hear this song so they can go and look for it themselves as well.
Definitely. Yeah, so I said thank you to St. Croix. Thank you to everyone who helped out. All the nice comments. I know it's gonna get bigger. Right now you got Carnival going on, but I did it deliberately. Today on Children's Parade, it was all planned out to show that we're more than just Carnival. We're more than just Juve. We're not like I said, we're not a package item you could just sell. You have to unfold it, and you have to show the realness of it, and no one set of people can control.
It was just 340, so that has to be a significant, to show Ayo 340 Virgin Islands VI all the way. Ain't no joking. You understand me? The ancestors that's right here with us, pushing this, making sure that you guys know and see the reality and the trueness behind our culture. Don't forget it. Don't get lost in this new social pattern. Remember our culture. Like you said, today is a children's parade, and it's so much that these times were so important to our people. It was once around a year where they had to be able to be free and able to just celebrate our traditions and so forth. So I thank you so much. You could listen as we tune in via Facebook or on WSTX 970 AM, and also share the live so that your fans and all could tune in and see that we had an amazing interview. I got your number now because I had the last one, but that one ain't working no more. So we're gonna set up to have a real sit down within the studio.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Thank you again, okay? Appreciate you. Always feel free to call in whenever you want to.
I will, definitely. All right, you have a good one.
You too.
All right, bless up.
Always. Yes, everybody. That was our one and only Cruz Rock. Let's big up our people, big up our cultures, make sure that we celebrate what it means to be a Virgin Islander. We tend to forget the true meaning of being from the Virgin Islands. And I want for us to get back in tune with ourselves. And as you see, being from the Virgin Islands, no matter how far you go, you're gonna always miss home. That's one of my reasons for wanting to, like, I want to travel, but then I don't want a feeling of homesickness. So without further ado, let's get into Shiloh. Um, I gotta turn it back because I was listening. I had it, and I listened to it a couple of times. Right now, it's been posted for 12 hours and has over 5,000 views, and we need to pick that up. It's all a pull up. When I just a pull up, I say, you know what? We gonna sit back and we gonna watch. Look at this production, ain't no better than this. Yeah. An amazing, amazing, amazing song from our one and two Cruz Rock. Like I said, I love the fact that he was able to harmonize through English or Spanish, bring our culture to one screen, showing the world what it means and what it looks like to be a Virgin Islander. And during now when it's carnival, now that it's St. Thomas Carnival, St. Grace Carnival is in December, but it is St. Thomas Carnival and it's turned up large. You know, right now a lot of our VI artists are being they're they're performing and so forth. But now you see, while there's some on the stage, there's some that are right now creating, pushing content, pushing the Virgin Islands. This is how we came from being a speck on the map to taking over the map. You understand? They used to be like, what? Where's VA? Where's the Virgin Islands? St. Croix, what's that? And throughout Cruz Rock, T-Ran, Timo, and Tim Duncan, all these different artists, they have been able to bring the Virgin Islands to life. So, as you see, we just had Cruz Rock on a line. Make sure you guys look on YouTube, check out Shiloh amongst his other released music, but this is the newly released one. For those of you who wanted to know how it looks when you go on YouTube, let me show you. I'm gonna go back to my search bar so I could see. Also, it was an amazing interview to be able to have him call at such short notice, but to be able to ask these necessary questions, to kind of see what it is that has him what driven him to come back to the Virgin Islands, even though he's always in and out the Virgin Islands, in and out St. Croix, but musically to go so in depth into our culture, our heritage, and into the beauty of the Virgin Islands. And I hope that his mom is doing amazing. For some reason right now, a lot of us are struggling with our parents and their health conditions or the loss of our parents. And, it shows that it's time to mature. It's time to step up. It's time to become our true selves. Like he said, leave that swag boy era behind, even though you could dabble and dabble in it, For those of you who don't know, one of my most favorite songs from Cruz Rock is Melodia. You know, like I said, a lot of my family is Puerto Rican, and I I know un poquito Spanish, but this was one of my, and as I could see on my list is done already played out, but I go play a little bit for you just so I could get insight of why it's one of my favorites. Once again, it brings culture. I'm hearing you. Oh, na, na, yeah. Carolina, you arms is where I wanna be. Escucho un sonido. Oh, na, na, yeah. ¿Dónde vino? Baby, no lo sé. She got me singing all these melodies that stays in my head and in my memory. Oh, la, la. She got me singing all these melodies that stays in my head and in my memories. Es una melodía. Es una melodía. Es una melodía, baby. I just love when the Virgin Islands is capable of going out and showing true talent. Oh, nana, siento la vibra. Oh, nana, vivamos la vida, baby. Oh, nana, she got me singing all these melodies. That stays in my head and in my memories. Oh, la, la. She got me singing all these melodies. That stays in my head and in my memories. Es una melodía. Es una melodía. Es una melodía, baby. Yes. She got me singing all these melodies. That stays in my head and in my memory. Oh, la, la. She got me singing all these melodies. That stays in my head and in my memories. Oh, es una melodía. Yeah, 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 baby. Es una melodía. Es una melodía, baby. Yes, so big up to our one and only Cruise Rock, because that's exactly what you're doing as you're rocking Cruise right now with this newly released song Shy Low. But I had to make sure I don't forget because it's a memory. It is a memory. And while we are talking about memories, let me big up my sponsors. Big up to Memorable Design, straight out of St. Croix, an amazing, amazing custom designer, who deals with whether it's pens, key rings, bags, cups, mugs. Like I show I all here. I get my own personal cup, which was a gift to me by our one and only Ninja P, who that over is saying Thomas turning up rap right now. But big up to Memorable Designs, established in 2023, personalizing items such as clocks, key rings, dominoes, plaques, and so much more. You could call them at 340-643-6966 or email them at PATEMASMITH69 wink wink at gmail.com, or follow them on Facebook through Memorable Designs, also on Instagram. That way you could be able to see the amazing works. Let me just show you a little thing, the brightness of my phone is showing it, but let me just scroll a little bit. Some amazing bottle displays. For those of you who love Hennessy, some more custom-made mugs, and some. That's what I tell I get it tumblers, all these different ones. It's so much different things. So if you guys are trying to get it for yourself, for your party, your business, you name it, And now moving on to our next sponsor, DTF Print Studio. Big up, big up, big up. Custom DTF printing in the Virgin Islands. They bring your designs to life on apparel and accessory with vibrant, high quality prints, fast, affordable, and perfect for any occasions. DM them on Facebook at DTF Print Studio 340 or call them at 707-671-2481. That is DTF Print Studio. So you get Memorable Designs, you get DTF, and we cannot forget. We just had an artist in here. So big up Royal Teams Studio. You could contact them via their website, which is royalteamstudio.com or royalteam340@gmail.com. Royal Team Studio on Facebook, Instagram, you name it. Lava just been in the studio, I go when I done doing these little mentions. Oh, did I mention first time recording specials? 2 hours, your first 2 hours, just $100. You can imagine that. You know how much work you could do in 2 hours? Listen. So yes, 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 yes. We got so much different artists from all over that is dropping right out of Royal Teams Studio. The numbers to call so you can reserve your spot today, and spots are limited, people. Why? Because it's too much going on wrong here. So to go and secure your spot, make sure you call 340. I'm so custom at 340, but 404-620-9317. Once again, 404-620-9317. And limited podcast office space rental. You can but wrong. You could go in there and make a song, or you could go in the front and you could sit down and build your content, people. I actually have to go one of these days and actually do a sit down in there. He was, and happy belated birthday to the owner. But I have to go there and experience it myself, even though I've experienced it before. But I experienced it as an artist. It's time to go as a podcaster, content creator, and see what this space is all about. They said mics that are available, equipment available. The mics is the Shure SMB7 computer equipped with audio software, speakers, mixer, and internet access. No more mobile data, no more bloop, 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 no again high speed internet over here. And it's also a fully foam padded room. So that means no bouncing after what. Listen, you're gonna be in a nice, and make sure you secure your days on a right day. Because I didn't say soundproof, I said a fully foam padded room. Perfect for podcasting, streaming, interviews, content creation, and much, much more. This is Royal Team Studio. You could find them at, you could book your sessions today at www.royalteamstudio.com or call 404-620-9317. Limited spots available. Secure your spots by booking now. Reserve only, people. What? Royal Teams right there over in the Queen Mary's and Paradise Flea Market. All you got to do is bust a left, bust a right, bust another left, and go straight down, and you're there, right there by Royal Teams Studio. I was picking up everybody, but guess what? It's time for me to big up myself. But before I big up myself, let me hear Lava. Yes, Lava in the building. VI talent is the best. Yes. Lava. We don't want to go in too far because we don't know if the entire tune is radio playable. But we're going to have a session, a whole session, which is going to be just for VI artists. And when I say a session, I don't mean one day. No, I mean a stream of Fridays dedicated to just music artists here in the Virgin Islands. We also have an upcoming artist. I think it's Luffy. Yes, Luffy. So stay tuned. We're gonna be probably having him in the studio. I'm still putting together everything. Today was dedicated to Cruise Rock. My spirit was just like, look, I see the song was because I've been waiting. I was like, okay, you say it coming soon. It coming soon. You're teasing me with all these bloopers. You understand? But where is the video? So let we go. I want to go over to Cruise Rock and see real quick if I could show you a little bit of the background of this music video. You know, Miss Schuster was involved and so much others, all those different oh wow. Oh no. Some of the bloopers, you know, trying to get a dip. How you can get a dip? Let me get a dip, yes, get a dip. Also, oh, yes, Shoshi, right here with the Schuster, you know, yes, 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 yes. It seems like it was an amazing experience, even though I only get to watch from little clips. It seems like as if I was able to go along the ride until it came to this full effective music video that is not just like a music video, it's a movie altogether, you know, a little Virgin Islands movie that shows so much of our culture and our heritage. Before we leave, we get some more announcements we got to make. These are a more formal basis, you know. We had fun with our VI artists and so, but it's time to get down to business. And when we're talking about business, May 22nd, it is May, but in 21 days over at the UBI Great Hall, we will be hosting and having, by sponsored by the Office of Senator Hubert L. Frederick, the Economic Development Summit, which is filled with opportunities. You understand me? Networking opportunities, educational opportunities, and so much more. And did I mention is free? It's free. You gain knowledge, you gain network and shaking hands and connecting, you know, all of this for free. It started at 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. on May 22nd, 2026. Sponsored by the Office of Senator Hubert L. Fredericks. There's going to be amazing panelists that are going to be educating you on Section 3, local preference rules, your way through and through these different contracts, how to be able to just snap through it. What do you need to become a vendor? What do you need to get your business started up and into that millionaire racket? Because it starts at the ground. You know, some people might be handed a golden spoon, but some of us started with a plastic one. Some of us started without one. Let's just be real. But it is up to you to build yourself up. You understand me? Like Bruce Lee used to say, become like water. Center yourself. Become like water. You understand me? When a water is put into a cup, guess what? It takes the form of a cup. You understand me? When it's put into a teapot, it takes the form of a teapot. I think I just saying it to say, no, empty your mind. Be formless.
Be formless, shapeless, like water. When you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. The water can flow, or it can crash. Water, my friend. Now some growth.
Like water. You understand me? But in everything you do, be humble. Be humble. You know, like I said, I bigging up everything else, but before I get into Tiniqua and end my show off with all about me, it's all about me. Let me flick my hair and flick it there and flick it everywhere. But before I get into me, because everybody will say you don't ever talk about yourself. You talk about everybody else, but you don't talk about yourself. Well, it's you could just see it for yourself. I don't have to talk about it all the time. But we're gonna talk about it today. Yeah. But grow what you sow. Youth Agricultural Livestock and Fishing Summer Program presented by the Office of Senator Hubert L. Frederick held on St. Croix. Program dates begin at June 1st, 2026 to July 14, 2026. This is a 4-week program where the children will be learning about children are going to be learning about agriculture, livestock, and fishing basics in a fun and engaging way. Also, led by and guided by mentors for youth leaders from high school to college within the first and fourth year. Explore, we're gonna be exploring. Yes, we're going to local farms, fisheries, and educational field trips are gonna be all throughout this program. Every child that attends will earn a certificate directly from the office of Senator Hubert L. Frederick for their participation. And they will be able to take home what they grew in the process. They're going to learn about the soil, how to feed their plant, the proper sunlight, what a farm looks like, what a farm is supposed to look like, how to maintain it. You understand me? And even the hardships of it, because it's not all butterflies. You understand me? But we have to build more sustainable and independent Virgin Islands. And the only way we're going to do that is by intriguing the children and educating our children into agriculture. So, grow what you sow, youth agricultural livestock and fishing summer program. Plant, grow, learn, and lead. All presented by the Office of Senator Hubert L. Frederick, held here on St. Croix. If you want more information, you just have to contact the office at 340-712-2209. You're going to probably get Caroline, Miss Urgent. Ask her about some information. I personally will be taking some forms over to the different schools because I want every school to have opportunities. Space is limited. We're doing 20 students, guys, 20 students to be able to partake in this program. Wait, did I mention this? It's free. It is free. A free 4-week program where a child is going to plant, grow, learn, and lead. They're going to learn about responsibility. And let me tell you about a fishing experience. You understand me? They're going to learn safety, safe fishing practices. They're also going to learn about casting techniques, marine conservation, understanding the ocean's ecosystem, and so much more. From land to sea, we grow together. Program benefits? Well, first of all, hands-on learning, building responsibility and confidence, exploring agricultural, livestock, and fishing careers, make new friends, take home your plant, and earn an actual certificate from the Office of Senator Hubert L. Frederick. Together, we can create a stronger, greener, more sustainable, and independent U.S. Virgin Islands people. This is all taking place in June 1st, 2026, all the way through July 14th, 2026. And did I mention once again, it is free, a free 4-week program. So either email hfrederick at lgvi.org or call 340-712-2209. And you could also inbox me on Facebook if you want to put your children in. Who can join is ages 8 through 12. Limited spots, people. 20 students, and we're also looking for college students, high school students that want to participate and be and have a little job, so it's going to be a paid internship. All you have to do to be able to qualify for that position, and it's only 4 spots for the paid internship. All you got to do is write an essay. The essay questions are: all applicants must submit a short essay as part of the selection progress. Also, what are the roles of agriculture, wildlife, and fisheries in the Virgin Islands, and how can the emerging generation contribute to strengthening these sections for a sustainable future? Who can apply? That would be high school students and college students, the first through fourth years, who are motivated and responsible and passionate about agriculture, wildlife, and fisheries. Attainable skills, it will be project planning and management, communications and teamwork, problem solving and critical thinking, leadership and professionalism, basic research and data collection, agricultural, livestock and fishery practices, environmental stewardship and sustainability, public speaking, and presentations. Explore the legislative process and policy making, explore the legislature of the Virgin Islands, including the Committee of Economic Development and Agriculture, and how policies are decided in the territory and impact the territory. Internship period is June 1st through July 14, 2026. Today was supposed to be the deadline to enter in your essays. I'm not sure if that portion was met, but build your skills, make a difference, earn stipend, and leave a legacy. Be a part of something new. Be a part of something that not only benefits you, but benefits the generations that come behind of you. Be a part of sustainability and our economical growth and our our independence when it comes to food sustainability and also food security. So I thank you guys so much for listening out for this. Also remember, once again, May 22nd, 2026. May 22nd, 2026, at the UVI Great Hall. And also, now that we talk about everything else, let's get into me. Recently I've just been unapologetic with my effectiveness, with who I am and how I portray myself. I will not shrink for anyone. I refuse, this is a quote from me, myself, Tiniqua. I refuse to belittle myself or box my talent in for anything or anyone. I finally have the opportunity to show what I'm capable of, and I will do so to the best of my ability. I am multi-talented, driven, impactful, unstoppable. I highlight all my talents unapologetically. I'm creative. I bring ideas to life and think outside the box. I'm a visionary. I'm focused. I'm versatile. And I'm a communicator. I'm also a leader. I'm a mother as well. So when you're a mother, you have to make sure you're a leader, or else they're gonna lead you. My effectiveness is not a threat; it's an asset. Room for all, space for greatness. When my effectiveness intimidates others, the conversation isn't about me, it is about what they see in themselves. I honor my journey, I embrace my capabilities, I refuse to shrink. I am what I bring, what I do is enough. Like I always tell you guys, I am and will be nothing without God. But before we continue, the VIWIAA presents the Veriton. Join the St. Croix Veriton. The Veriton is an international team based competition where students learn about forestry, wildlife, soil, and water on the island. Students works in teams of 5, grades 6 through 12, learning from coaches of wild field trips to solve real world environmental challenges. Currently recruiting for St. Croix' first ever environton. I guess it's like an environmental, thing. Sign up for free by March 15th online at www.viwiaa.org/enviroton. ENVIROTHON. All teams will receive training on topic areas for the USBI Regeneration Corps. Top top areas will be aquatics, forests, soils, wildlife, current issue topics, non-point source pollutions, and the winning team is eligible to compete in the International Enviroton Competition, July 19th through 25th, 2026 in Mississippi. Training dates is March 21st and 28th, April 11th and 18th, from 1 to 4 p.m. St. Croix competition, May 8th, 2026. So make sure you guys support. If you need more information, make sure you go on www.viwiaa.org/ENVIROTHON. And yes, make sure you guys go on and support. And as you can see, we're all trying to build our economy and also build our agriculture system and bring food sustainability and security here to the Virgin Islands. I tell I too much. It's too much of our foods and so forth being imported rather than us exporting. So, a little bit more about Tiniqua Knowles, author, storyteller, creator. I don't want to be recognized. I want to recognize myself. Tiniqua Knowles. My journey speaks for itself, and I'm just getting started. I am the proud owner of my own business, Bridgepoint Media and Community Outreach Services, Accomplishments and Impacts. I am a published author. My first book, published in 2019, um, began a journey of storytelling and inspired entertainment and healing for myself. Multi genres, thus so many different genres. I first started with urban novel, urban fiction, mystery and drama, superhero series. Also, I have the Watchers Pack, self-help devotional journals. That would be Words Have Power, and also More Than Mirror, children's books from Julie's Adventures to My Bright Mind, team support books. I do books for autistic teens and so much more, you know. creator of cultural rooted children's books. My book Julie's Adventures highlights of Virgin Islands traditions, events, values, and pride through engaging stories for children, for the next generation to come. Also, I did my own play. I have the three mongoose and a snake, because we have a lot of mongoose and now we have a lot of snakes. But I wanted to do like a children's series with it. I did my first one. It's a Caribbean play, unlike, I guess, the Three Little Pigs, but more likely it's the Three Mongoose. I'm gonna be taking them on different adventures. I'm gonna probably do the Three Mongoose versus the Hurricane, or so much. I'm still doing my thing. I'm still coming up with ideas. Author of teen support books for autism awareness, promoting and understanding acceptance and coping strategies for teens and families. Published multiple titles and continuously growing. Advocate for healing, growth, and representation through literature and through communication. You guys know that I'm an advocate for sexual assault, domestic violence, gun violence, troubled youth, and just the youths of the Virgin Islands altogether. And even so, for those who are coming up and just trying to find themselves. Some of my books are Words Have Power, Self-Help Devotional Journal, More Than the Mirror. That is also a self-help journal. The Watcher's Pact is an amazing series that I've dived into. Polly is the Word. That is my first ever published book in 2019. It's an urban fiction. Good Girl Meets Trap Boy. That is also under the urban fiction. A Walk in the Life of a Dream Catcher. That one highlights my life and all the things that I've been through. I kind of gave you guys an insight of me and what Tiniqua has done, what I've been through, and so much more. Julie's Adventures. My Bright Mind is my teens autism book that gives you, like I said, it's promoting understanding, acceptance, and coping strategies for teens and families with autistic children. Also, I have When It's All Said and Done. That is my a book about, it's it's so much in one. I've had nothing but good reviews when it came to it. I've also created the first ever superhero book based here in the Virgin Islands that is tied to our ancestors. It's called um, the Fire Burn Anchor. I have some copies on hand along with my self-help journals. I'm going to be gifting some of my friends and even my listening audience some of my books. Matter of fact, I wish that if you guys got the numbers, if you want to call, I'm going to gift my first caller one of my books, depending if you're male or female, 340 209 2083. For my females, I have Words Have Power. That is a self-help devotional book. Akimani, bring my box of my books, please. And I also have the Firebird Anchor. I have, I think, like two more of those on hand. So once again, the numbers to call is 340-209-2083. I have my son is bringing me my box with the books that I have on hand. I have some other ones that I have here, but those are already sold. The Firebird Anchor, I have it hardcover. They're both hardcover and paperback, but the ones I ordered for this one, I wanted it to be hardcover. One is for my desks, Words Have Power. This is my self-help devotional book. This one is lengthy because there are journal pages. There's um there's journal pages and also different scriptures to help you go along the way to recovery and learning about the power of words. This one is more than the mirror. I love how this one came out. This one is also a hardcover. I got the hardcover because, like I said, um, some of them I'm going to be keeping for myself. I'm going to be giving away one to my friend. You know, this one here is going on my bookshelf. Um, I also have a few of the Words of Power. I'm gonna be ordering some more. All of when it's all said and done is done. All of those is done. I ordered so much of those, and here's a funny story. When I went to pick up a few of them, I was having troubles with it, like with getting it from the post office. I'm like, could you imagine? I'm getting trouble picking up my own book. And when I was talking about it, I had somebody there that was like, they said, What do you mean picking up your own book? What kind of book did you order? So I was explaining to them that I was picking up a book that I wrote, and I was having issues at Imani, those that. So I was having issues picking it up. And when I showed them, like I was unboxing it and everything, and I was like, look, this is my book, because the lady was telling me, how does she know it's my author? Or because it went to some wrong address or something like that. It didn't go to the wrong address. It's just simply I missed the pickup, and my mailbox over here in Williams the light was closed. So I went over there to see if they could give me with my tracking number, but she didn't want to accommodate me. I'm telling them like this is literally my book that I wrote, and I got to sell so much of them there just from having. So God has a funny way of taking a moment that could be frustrating and turning it into a blessing. So before I even get to leave the post office, all of those was gone. My awesome friend Pedro, he got his copy. Also, a lady that I met over at Serenity's Nest, she got her copy. She loved it. You know, some other people got some. My aunt, I gifted my aunt one of my copies as well. I have some more books that are coming out. I just did an amazing book called The Pilot's Place. That one was based on a Virgin Islander here in St. Croix, who has wanted to be a pilot, but life didn't plan out in that way. So he took it upon himself to make his room into his own cockpit, by having the amazing setup and simulations and so forth. And after having a moment of just talking and communicating and getting a build on a story, it drove my spirit to actually putting it on paper. So I thank you guys for tuning in. Once again, you're tuned in at WSTX 970 AM every Friday, 2:30 to 4:30 with your host, Tiniqua Knowles. I love you. Be blessed. Big up to my mom, my dad, my sisters, and my brothers. Big up to Josh. Big up Ninja P. Big up Alayo. So have a blessed day. Love you guys. See you next week. Oi. Yes, What is our problem? I can't understand I did on the air doing something. And why you keep putting on the pants? I told you to take it off. You need to put your father pants on back. Tell them that I said to come. Because now I don't send them in the bed because I simply call and ask one person to come. All I hear is sending all of them in the bed.